No. So, hey guys, welcome to our second episode of our podcast. I'm the Rhino.
And I am the bat.
Today we got on our podcast rapper, musician, influencer, Ayyemoe. Ayyemoe, welcome to the show. And did I miss anything?
Nah, you got everything covered, boss. Appreciate y'all for having me.
Yeah, no worries, man. Also to our audience, Ayyemoe here is actually a good friend from college of mine. Phenomenal basketball player. He played what, a couple seasons in the pro or something like that?
Yeah, I play a little bit in the NBA and a little bit overseas. So,
All right. So I guess the first question is, how'd you get into music?
man, to be honest with you, man, it was just something I kind of fell into. Like I said, I played overseas for a while. And when I came back, I was kind of looking for something a little different, especially playing at the level that I was playing at before I went overseas and then kind of going over there, experiencing that for a little bit. When I got back, kind of had a bad taste in my mouth with a little bit of the business side of things over there.
Right.
But in terms of the level of competition, it just um not to really sound cocky enough, but it wasn't as high as I thought it would be. So I was looking for more of a challenge, something that would kind of push me in a way that when I started, I would kind of be wondering, can I really do this? You know what I mean? Like, would I actually be able to succeed in it? And I don't know if you remember Satch, but Satch, who went to school with us at NYT,
Yeah.
tattoo artist. Yeah, him and his man. I'm super tight with Satch. His man owns a recording studio, so me and Satch was in there just chilling one day. His man was recording somebody else making a song, and I'm sitting there like, yo, these people are dope. Like, they can sing, they can rap, they can do all this shit. And I started thinking, like, maybe I can't do that. Like, maybe they can really do something that I can't do. But that's the kind of thing that like really gets me ticking. Like, because then I started to think, like, if another human being can do it, I can definitely do it. So by the time that session was even over, I realized I started writing notes down, like, how would I say it? How would I sing it? How would I do this? How would I do that? And by the time that session was over, I had like 4 or 5 pages written in my notebook of how I would have did the song the day I was recording. And that kind of like clicked in my head, like, yo, this is something that's kind of really mentally like stimulating me. You know what I mean? So pretty much
Right.
from that day, and that might have been like maybe a month or so after I came back from hooping. So I was still pretty fresh from hooping. I definitely planned on going back over for some nice bread, but it's not about the money with me. You know what I mean? It's not about the money. I like doing something where when I look back at it, whether I look back at it 10 years from now, 20 years from now, I can say, you know what, my life was something that I wanted it to be. You know what I mean? Not because of the
Right.
money or not because of anything else, but because I wanted to do it and I pushed myself. That way, when I talk to my friends or my kids, I can tell them, yo, like, go after what you want to do. Don't let nobody make you feel like you have to be in a certain box. Do what you want to do. You know what I mean? And
Right.
be
Right.
happy and satisfied with what you're doing. So.
That's cool. That's cool.
Mhm.
So I know you're a rapper. You mentioned that you were a rapper. Why did
Yeah.
you choose rap music versus going into pop or rock or
Uh,
insert whatever genre?
Yeah, well, I started off rapping mostly because the people that was in the studio, like I just mentioned, was rapping.
Right.
I never really listened to a lot of rap music. I listened to more so singers and things like that. And if you the last project I just dropped, the EP I just dropped, which is actually doing really well right now. I think we just hit like 70,000 streams at the moment. But that has a lot more singing on it than anything else because I slowly transitioned my way into singing. Once I got comfortable in the studio and kind of comfortable with my performance and comfortable enough with myself to say, you know what, I want to start doing something different in this lane. I was able to kind of start transitioning into what I want to do. So my next project actually that I'm dropping whenever this corona pandemic is over and the studio
Right.
opened up. Yeah, it's going to be more of a acoustic popish type of lane. I bought a guitar not too long ago, probably
Yeah,
about
I
two
remember
three
seeing
months
that on
ago.
your Instagram story.
Exactly. So I've been working a lot with that and really just, you know what I mean, trying to do anything that really comes to my mind. I want to be as versatile as possible so that, I can sit here and say whatever I feel like doing, that's what I'm going to do. So I started
Right.
off in rap because that's pretty much what was surrounding me. But as I became more comfortable with myself in this sort of field, I'm able to kind of branch out and do what I want to do. So
Bet. So I guess the next question for me at least is who's your musical inspiration? Like, is it Pac, Biggie,
uh, uh,
Timberlake? Who?
musical inspiration, that's tough. That's tough. Like I said, I didn't listen to a lot of music. Um, but I used to listen to a lot of Trey songs. Just growing up in DC in the DMV,
Right.
Trey Songz was the guy. He was from Virginia, not too far from us. Every time he was performing, I was at a show. He was doing a lot of stuff for the kids, a lot of stuff for the community. So that kind of made it a lot easier for us to kind of like look up to somebody like that in that realm. even though I was playing sports, he was still somebody that was really prevalent in our community. So my drawing towards him was more so for who he was as a person instead of his music. And then getting caught into his music was also very good. But recently, I've been super influenced by Trey Songz as well, but more so by artist named James Arthur, who's probably my favorite artist, one of my favorite artists ever. Him and a guy named Adam Lambert. Them two are probably the best singers, musicians I've ever heard in my life, in my lifetime, from a musician standpoint, instruments, singing, creativity, genres, all that. So probably James Arthur and Adam Lambert would probably be the two that have really been influenced me over this past year and a half. So
Right. Cool. So like as I mentioned before to our audience, I know you personally, like we're basically family at this point.
yes, sir.
I know you played in a few seasons at a few seasons of basketball in the college level and a few seasons in the pros. So I'm wondering, is your basketball career over, or are you still trying to get into like the NBA or the D League or something else like that?
No, I mean I was talking to a friend not too long ago, and he said that he got some stuff on the table that would be an option. I'm definitely down to keep hooping. I hoop every day with friends, with family, and you know, I play basketball at a high level. So everybody I play
Right.
ball with is at a very high level. I play with pros, I play with NBA players, I play with overseas players all the time, and I'm still
Right.
pretty much at the top of that food chain. But it just got to make sense financially at this point. You know what I mean? Because I'm doing pretty well for myself. God has blessed me to do well for myself with this music and doing what I'm doing now. Just doing more of an entrepreneurial thing. So if it makes sense financially for me to stop what I'm doing and kind of move back into basketball, then I will do that. I'm always open for it because I'm always competitive and whatever it may be. So
Right. So I guess the next question for me at least is like, let's just say you end up in the NBA with the Rockets or the Knicks or whoever.
Uh-huh.
How are you planning to balance being a musician and being in the NBA, since NBA is like what, 9 months out of the year pretty much?
yeah,
If not the entire year.
yeah. I mean, you don't get good at anything by not working. You feel
Right.
me? And you know the way I was at school. That's how I was
Yeah.
my whole life, in the gym, working out, putting in time. You know, and no matter how hard you work, you still have time with the rest of your day. You know, you can't let a job or you can't let one thing take control of your whole life. You know, so I always put in crazy work in the gym, but I always had time to chill with friends and chill with family and relax. You know, so that when it comes to making music, that's a family thing. You know, whenever
Right.
I'm in the studio or whenever I'm writing or whenever I'm doing anything, I have my friends and family with me. You know, so whenever that's able to be done, I like to do that. My studio sessions is always my brother's in there or Satch is in there or any people I know are in there. My producer's super tight with me, so I try to make that as much as a family environment as possible, because that's how you get the vibes and the feels, and you kind of build and bounce off ideas. So it'll just be another aspect of like team building. You know what I mean? So it wouldn't be
Right.
too difficult because when you love to do something, you find ways to get it done. So I don't think it would be too hard. So I think I'd actually enjoy that. So.
Cool. Victor, do you have any questions?
From your experience on becoming a rapper, what will you say to other people who are trying to become a rapper or any type of musicians?
The most important thing would be to don't let nobody tell you what you can or can't do. You know, like I said, I started off rapping, and nobody in DC that I've seen that does music dances. And my first show ever, I had a dance breakdown because I can dance. I love dancing. You know what I mean? Whenever you see me in the club, I'm dancing. You see me on a basketball court, I'm I love dancing. And I know the first show I did was super lit. You know, the dance breakdown was super lit. But before I did it, I was talking to some people, and they was like, "Yeah, maybe you should take your dance out. Nobody really doing that." I was like, "Fuck that! Like, I'm gonna do it." And it shut the show down. But then the second show, I did the same thing, and nobody was feeling it. You know what I mean? But I could have easily taken that and been like, you know what? Maybe they right. Maybe I shouldn't. Nah, if it's what I want to do, it's what I'm going to do. You know what I mean? So if you want to be a musician, if you want to be a singer, you know what I mean? If you want to be a guitar player, if you want to be a drummer, whatever it is, if you feel like people are saying you have to do one style, one genre, or you have to do this or that, fuck that. Like, do what you want to do, man, because you are going to be the most happy when you're doing what you want to do. And you're not the only person in the world that likes what you do. You feel me? You're going to find people that like what you do. You know, and once you find that audience, and once you find that base, they're going to click with you. And that's all you need is just be yourself, because there's plenty of people that want to be like you. You know what I mean? People support you for being real, because people can see the fake very easy. You know, And nobody like fake. Don't play that over here.
So I'm just gonna pause right here. I can actually personally vouch to the audience that Ayyemoe actually used to dance after every point scored on the basketball court. I can personally vouch for that. So just like let you guys know.
Hey man, you gotta let them know, man. You know what I mean? So
sorry, Victor, you were saying?
Oh, I was about to say if like where can our audience find you and your music?
Yeah, anywhere where music is able to be streamed at. You know, I think I got 2 videos on YouTube. I got some more coming out soon. They've already been shot. We just got to edit them. You can find me on Apple Music, Spotify. You know what I mean? Like I said, YouTube, Google Play, wherever music is streamed at, you can find me. So just type in Ayyemoe, AYYEMOE, and you'll see my stuff up there. So
his name will also be in the title, so in case you are too lazy to type it out, you can copy and paste.
no doubt.
Yeah. Victor, do you have any more questions for our guest?
This is where one of the hosts can say, "Whoop, wait."
So for our audience, I'll put the description box. I'll put everything that Ayyemoe said into the description box so you can go check it out. I'm gonna link his, I think, Google or YouTube and like some of his music, like Spotify, Instagram, SoundCloud. You also find this podcast on SoundCloud, so check it out.
No doubt.
I got another a question for you actually.
Yes, sir.
What are your
Yeah, that's a tough one because the thing is, I want to say the Wizards, but we suck. So, damn, that's crazy. I don't know.
The last time the Wizards were good was when Jordan was playing.
Bro, it's been a while. That's all I can say. It's been a while. You know what I mean? Oh man, I don't know. I don't think I have a favorite team, but I do got certain players who I follow, and they might not be players that I follow necessarily because I like their game, but they're players that I follow because I respect what they do. They take their craft serious. You can tell that they put whatever they got into it. LeBron James, I love the fact that LeBron James goes out there and does what he does. He takes so much criticism. He takes so much criticism for so many things, but he never lets that seep into his profession. You never see him laugh, or you never see him crying or complaining that people are always on him. He goes out there, he keeps it super professional. He's always super nice to the people in the crowd. He's a very respectful dude, and it's hard to find people like that in any profession that when they're at the top of their game, they treat everybody like they're normal humans. You know, that's very hard to find. So I love LeBron James. I love watching Damian Lillard as well. He seems like a very humble dude. He's also a dude that plays ball and makes music too. So I think that's super dope. Yeah, and shit. I think lastly will probably be Floyd Mayweather, man. Like, man, undefeated, boy. If we could all go through our life undefeated, we'd be living a lot different, huh? So,
ain't that the truth?
So, yeah, man. So yeah, probably them three, just off the strength of their work ethic is really unmatched. R.I.P. Kobe Bryant, because he would be on that list as well. So
yeah. So kind of going off of what Victor said, 1 through 5 position wise, who's your favorite player?
Damn, 1 through 5 position wise. All right, we're gonna do favorite players.
Yeah, so I mean like.
If we're gonna do favorite players 1 through 5, my favorite player and probably the reason I even started playing basketball, is probably gonna be a tie at number 1 between Jason Williams, White Chocolate, and then Allen Iverson. You know, it's gonna be a tie between them two at the 1. At the 2, we're gonna put Kobe Bryant.
Black Mamba.
At the 3, of course. At the 3,
I'm gonna let Ayyemoe pause right here so we can think. Kobe Bryant, aka Black Mamba, is the main reason why I became a Laker fan.
Hey man, that's not a bad reason, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, he's oh man, it's hard to describe. Just
Kobe Bryant was a legend, loved by people that didn't even really watch basketball. Like he was loved by hockey players in Europe and like football, of course, too, and any other sports.
Yeah.
When he passed, a lot of athletes did like their memorial.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Also, he seemed like a pretty great
wild.
guy. Like I respected his game. Like he was a fantastic player.
Exactly. And like you said, when he passed, it wasn't even just basketball players. It was soccer players, football players. It was actors, actresses. It was like pretty much anybody from any profession was just feeling that. You know what I mean? Like you say, he seemed like a great dude, and it caught a lot of people off guard because when you see him on the court, he's so aggressive. You know that you wouldn't think that when you meet him in person that he was somebody that's really just a normal human being. But you see in his interviews and things like that he was a loving father. He was somebody that really cared about kids. He had his own camp. He was always willing to help other players in the league. Like that, those, like I mentioned with LeBron, same thing with Kobe. Those type of people are hard to find. So many people reach such a high level and become so selfish and become about themselves. You know what I mean? And it's hard to find somebody that's really able to say, I can be a different person while I'm competing versus a different person while I'm on the floor, while I'm off the floor. So, but yeah. So Kobe would be number 2. Number 3. Number 3 is tough. I probably have to put KD at number 3. No, I'm gonna put Michael Jordan at number 3. I'm gonna put Michael Jordan at number 3. That way we have a loaded roster. And at 4, at 4, I'm gonna put LeBron, and at 5, I'm gonna put Shaq.
Shaq over the Dream? Really?
Man, I have to put 01 Shaq. You know what I mean? Big
boy
01
Shaq, yeah.
You know what I mean? Big boy Shaq that's dunking on everybody. And Shaq is just one of those people that's a goofball to me. I love watching him do interviews. Him and Charles Barkley, I love them two together. You know what I mean? So yeah, I probably go with Shaq. But you're right though. Hakeem Olajuwon's a problem. So you can't go wrong either way. You know,
all right, cool.
Can't go wrong either way.
I don't know about Victor, but I'm out of questions. I don't know what else to ask you, man. Victor, do you have any more questions for our guest?
I pretty much ask what I was going to say because I love asking people what's their favorite sport, what's their favorite sports teams and stuff. Because like I did soccer, I did some martial arts, and played a little bit of football. But just like I like people that play other sports too, because they have the same mind mentality as you do. So, for example, with football, you got Tom Brady. But you also got people saying Joe Montana's the GOAT. For me, Joe Montana's the GOAT, but I respect Tom Brady's game.
Yeah.
Especially since he just moved on from the New England Patriots to Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Are they winning the Super Bowl in Tampa Bay? Are they going to win the Super Bowl in Tampa Bay?
Good question. I don't know.
That's a good question.
They just got Gronk, right?
Yeah, Gronk.
Gronk is back. I think those two anywhere, regardless of where, they're going to be playoff contention.
Right.
They definitely going to be better than the Patriots, though.
Yeah, I can see that coming. I think the only player that's going to be good in the Patriots will probably be Edelman.
Yeah, that's about it.
I'm surprised he stayed, though. You know what I mean? I'm surprised he
very loyal.
He wanted to stay there.
Very loyal.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, how do y'all feel about player loyalty to organizations? Like, do you think they should be?
I mean, for me, it depends. Like, obviously, let's just say take Tom Brady. Tom Brady's like 42, 43 years old or whatever.
Yeah.
New England isn't the warmest place in the world. Let's be honest here. Just from an age standpoint, I understand why he would go down south to Florida. But at the end of the day, it's like, I think it's like team loyalty should be a thing. That's just me. I think it's like if you get picked up with a good team, let's just say the Patriots or the Lakers or someone like A quality level, you should stay with the team. Yeah. Don't be a jackass, obviously. Otherwise, you'll be like in jail every other day, like Ray Rice. But that's just me.
Ray Rice, man. That's a damn shame.
Yeah, well, that's another conversation for a different time.
I think European soccer has more makes more sense because every country has a league. You could go I'm gonna go to Germany, play for Germany now, or something makes more sense than Tom Brady going to Patriots. Like Ronaldo first played for Sporting Lisbon in Portugal, gets transferred to Manchester United because the coach liked his playing style. Then played for Real Madrid. Then he transferred to Juventus, and all those 4 different countries and 4 different leagues. But I think that makes more sense for soccer. But for football, I think it's kind of hard because, like, you know, you could play in, like, maybe 2 teams will make more sense. Like, you could get drafted from whatever team. You play for them for a couple of years. Then you get to play in your dream team. I think that would make perfect sense, too, just to play for 2 teams if you're in the NFL. The same thing might go with basketball, too.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel you. I think I don't know, man. It's hard. I think you should be loyal to a squad if they treating you right. You know, like I ain't seen the whole Last Dance documentary on Michael Jordan yet, but I know that in that documentary, my man was telling me, actually my brother was telling me that Scottie Pippen signed some contract for like 7 years where he was getting paid like $2 million a year. You know what I mean? After like the 3rd or 4th championship, they supposed to throw that contract in the trash and pay him his money that he deserved. You feel me? Like if a player's in that type of situation, I think that you need to go out and get your bread. Like,
right.
Like, you know what I mean? But if somebody's treating you where you're supposed to be treated, I think you should be loyal. But that's also hard as well because I don't know if y'all remember when Kawhi Leonard got traded to the Raptors for DeMar DeRozan. The Raptors had just came out publicly and said they wouldn't trade DeMar DeRozan. Said they never wanted to trade him. They wanted to be loyal to him. And he just signed a contract thinking he was going to stay, bought a new house, everything. And then he got traded like 2 days later. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's hard because it's a business. And the people that are always at the top of the food chain usually are not looking out for the people at the bottom. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's why when you have an organization like the Spurs or like the Warriors,
or the Lakers,
or the Lakers that's ran the way that they're ran, and it's more like a family structure where they're not doing players dirty left and right. You know, that people really appreciate that, and those tend to be the organizations that have a higher level of greatness over a course of time, like the Patriots or like the Celtics, or, you know what I mean, or the Lakers, or whoever it may be. Those tend to be at the top for longer because they have players that are genuinely doing the most to get the best out of themselves to help the people that are paying them. So,
right.
I mean, it's hard, man. It's hard whenever you throw money into something, it becomes a lot harder for most people because not everybody is on the same wavelength at that point. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
so talking about the Last Dance and Jordan, do you think if Jordan didn't leave the Bulls initially to go play for the White Sox, do you think Jordan would have won 2 or 3 more championships?
I think it's possible, but it also depends on how good is the team. Like,
right?
Yeah, like you said, I definitely think it's possible. I think the only thing that might have stopped them would have been Jordan, because I know that they were saying that. Once again, I ain't seen the whole thing yet. I'm about to watch the whole thing probably this weekend, over the course of the weekend. But I know that they were saying that he left because emotionally he was so drained from everything that was going on.
Right.
And as most people know, no matter how physically fit you are, if your mind ain't in it, it's very hard to do it. You know, it's very, very hard. But Michael Jordan is also somebody that has played in situations where he's had the flu or he's had super bad injuries or had illnesses, and he's done played some of his best games. So that maybe he would have had his best season. You know, people like that, it's very hard. When you have all-time greats, they tend to go against the norm. You know what I mean? So it's very hard to bet against somebody like a Jordan or a Kobe. It's very hard to say that they wouldn't do it. So it's definitely possible. It's definitely possible because he's so great, and their team, if they keep the same team that they had during those championships, their team is so great. Like Tony Kukoc is super underrated. He's super under. He could have went to any other team and really been that guy. You know, saying he's super underrated, and you can't take that stuff for granted. He's an all-time great as well. Scottie Pippen also. That's another topic for a different day. I think he might be a little overrated, but he's still an all-time great. So it's hard to say. It's hard to say. But I definitely think they would have won one of those championships. I know he sat out a year and then he came back during the second year. So I think they would have won one of those for sure. I don't think they're winning one after the sixth one though. Like after the last one, and if they would have stayed together, I don't think they win in that one. Because they barely got that one. They barely got that one during that year. So
right.
But nah, that's a good question though. That's a good question. Good. You a San Francisco fan?
I'm not.
I'm a Niners fan. I go for the Earthquakes. Go for the
I'm not a Niners fan, for the record.
Yeah, you're Steelers.
Go Steelers, man, right here.
Okay. I respect it. I respect my when he was actually, I want to say he was a sophomore when I was a senior. No, he was a freshman because he was my freshman. I forgot what they called him. When you're a senior, you always got a freshman that you're supposed to like look after.
Mentor.
A guy, yeah, they had some fancy name for it at my high school though. So it really is like a mentor thing. A dude named Sean Davis. He plays for the Pittsburgh Steelers for a little while. He was I want to say he was a strong safety. I believe he was a little dude when I was there. We both played on the football team. It was actually, I played 1 year of football in high school. I was pretty good too. I played wide receiver, cornerback, and then I did kick returns also. I love the cornerback position though. Cornerback and kick return, I used to love it. The only thing about kick return though, man, I was so fast, I was so quick, but I was playing it like it was basketball though. And basketball and football, two completely different sports. So when you doing moves and you expose your ribs in basketball, it don't mean nothing. But I do moves on football, and if I got past one person and then see somebody to the other side and they hit me right in my ribs,
right,
it was over. It was over, but I loved it. So he was but I think Sean Davis might be like 6'3", like 220, 230 now. But
he's a big
when we was
boy.
in high school, he's a big dude. But when we was in high school, he was like barely 5'8", maybe barely 5'9", like maybe.
So he shot up a lot.
Yeah, like 110 pounds. He shot up crazy. He's a good dude though. So I'm glad he's doing well.
Yeah, he's right now. I just looked him up. He's playing free safety for the Redskins.
For the Redskins?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what's up. I might have to hit him up, man, because he definitely hit my line not too long ago. This might have been like a year ago, and I did not respond because I didn't have his number saved. But then somebody told me it was his number, and I forgot to respond to it. But no, I'm glad he's doing good though. Man. It's always good to see good people doing their thing, man. Like I'm glad, like I was telling you earlier, I'm glad you're doing this show, man, because a lot of people take so long to try to go after what they want to do, man. And I'm glad that you just jumping out there saying, yo, I'm gonna do this shit. So I'm really proud of you for doing this, bro. Like straight, I want everybody to know that this is a big step, bro. For both of y'all, this is super big. And even if other people don't think so, fuck that. Like this is big for y'all, and that's all that matters. You know what I mean? It's big to me.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm super appreciative to even be on this platform with y'all. So
thank you.
No doubt.
Like I said before, I'm out of questions. I'm tapped out. Victor, you have any more questions?
I think that's it for me. Pretty much ask them all the questions about sports.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's it for the interview or for the podcast.
No doubt.
To the audience, have a good one. Like I said before, we're gonna put all the Ayyemoe's links in the description box down below. If you want to go check them out. Ayyemoe, any last words?
No doubt. I appreciate y'all for real from the bottom of my heart. I greatly appreciate being on this podcast. Like you said, all my information will be in the description box below. Check out my EP, Halftime. My album Crossover came out. Check both of those out. Also be on the lookout. I got another project coming out soon called Commercial Break. Like I mentioned earlier, it will be completely different from anything else that I have out, more on the acoustic side, more emotional, more heartfelt, more music with meaning than anything else. And I think it'll be something that y'all really appreciate. It's something that's really going to take y'all on a journey of what I've been through. So I think y'all appreciate that. And if anybody that watched this Jones ever in DC and they want somebody to score 30 on them, hit my line. I will give y'all 30 points. I would drop 30 on y'all and dunk on y'all. So just let me know.
Sad part is that it's true. I have a few personal experiences with that.
Hey, man, you still my guy, though. That's all that matters.
Yeah. All right, guys. Have a good one. See you guys in the next video. Peace.